Good morning. Thanks very much. I appreciate everybody's time. I think you'll find the information that I'm going to be presenting today very interesting and very valuable. Let me start by saying that I'm going to be covering a great deal of data in terms of the presentation, and as you get all this data, again, I'm going to be relatively speaking quickly in the next 20 minutes, but I would like to make sure that if you have any questions, you can simply let me know, either at the end at the question period or as you have an opportunity to email me. Let me start a little bit in terms of an introduction. My name again is Chris Hoopas. I am not an analyst by trade. I've spent much of the last 25 years working as a practitioner and been in sales and marketing executive positions for the last 20 years. My most recent experience was running demand generation in the U.S. for an $800 million software company based out of Boston, does human capital management. I worked for such companies as SBC, U.S. Cellular. I started my own company in the 90s, Network Services, and grew it and sold it. Started a company called New Forma Software that was an architectural engineering design firm, and that grew that from angel investing all the way up to Series C, and it's now successful and profitable. So my point in terms of telling you that background is my research is truly focused on what marketing folks need in terms of doing their jobs and being most effective. And that's where I've really concentrated on in terms of my practice. And so my goal here today is to give you information that I feel is going to be most helpful and most valuable in helping you do your jobs and keeping your positions.
Starting to refine their strategy, and part of kind of this next generation, everyone's looking at measurement and how they can include that data now as part of their overall reporting and analytics infrastructure. So I'm glad to hear you guys are headed in that same direction. And then finally, similar to mobile, clearly Facebook is got to be a big component of your overall strategy. Can you share some things there around Facebook?
Sure. So we've got several existing Facebook campaigns going, such as our Behind the Pizza, where you can actually learn and understand exactly how a Domino's pizza is made, and that's integrated within Facebook. We also have a campaign going called Show Us Your Pizza, where we're actually asking consumers to take pictures of their pizza and let us see what they look like, what they ordered. And then also, it's just interesting for us, when we have, I think, pulling up about 1.8 million Facebook fans. It's just exciting to see how many people want to engage with the Domino's brand and engage with us on Facebook.
Awesome. That's great. It's great to hear. I'm sure as the year continues, that will continue to be a bigger part of the overall business, and you guys will do some pretty innovative things there, like you have done on the .com and now moving into mobile. So that's the session with Chris. What I want to do now is switch over to Q&A. We've got quite a few questions online, and I'm going to switch it over to Tom and have him kind of moderate the Q&A.
Thank you, Casey. We've had a lot of great questions from attendees. I know we're getting a little bit pretty close to the hour mark, so I'm just going to put a few out there, and I will provide any questions we don't get to our panelists, and they've agreed to answer them directly. So just right off the bat, one of the first questions is from Paul, and Paul asked, if you had limited investment dollars, where would you put your priority spend in year one, anywhere from web to media? Chris, you want to take that one?
Sure. So, based on the research that I've done and the data that's been collected from, again, 400, 500 companies, first would be web, followed very closely by social, followed very closely by mobile. And again, I urge everybody, I know, there's probably a lot of folks that are in different industries, different geographies, but again, this is pretty consistent data that's getting reported on what the top performers are doing, and it applies to, again, multiple geographies, whether you're in the U.S. or you've got operations in the EU, whether you're a manufacturer or whether you're a consumer packaged goods company, et cetera. So those three things are where I would concentrate on, regardless of my market segment or my geography. Web, then followed by social, then followed up very closely by mobile. And remember, it doesn't mean you have to have a clear, fully defined plan and expenditure summary there. It just means you've got to put your priorities there and make sure that you've got some strategy around it and you're investing in it.
Thanks, Chris. I think the next question is actually a great follow-up to that. This is from Steve.